Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my channel update for July 2016. It's been 2 years since I started this channel, officially. Actually 2 years as of a couple days ago. I was going to put up some sort of 2-year special together, but then I realized I didn't actually get my first video up until the first week of September 2014. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that as my first video date, and I'm going to try to get a 2-year special. It may be a small special, but it'll be something ready for the beginning of September. I would like to say hello and thank you all to the new subscribers. You have been very helpful. I've been getting not only helpful for views, but I've been getting a few bits of constructive criticism, which I'll be trying to implement into my videos going forward. I'm always looking for ways to improve my videos, of course, and with hints and tips given to me, and or basically, you need to do this and this, I can take a look at how I'm doing things and how to improve it going forward. Seems I'm always apologizing for failing to meet my goals, and this month's going to be no exception. Last month was really rough. Then I kind of noticed that the summer of last year was pretty much the same way. I got really super busy in the late summer, or mid to late summer last year. And I can only assume that a similar surge of being busy was the reason why I didn't get a video up in 2014 until, 2 months after I made the channel. So I'm wondering if that's not going to be par for the course, where I just get super busy during the summer. My day job does tend to run in cycles. I get super busy for a while, and then I have several months in a row where the busy kind of subsides, and I can devote more time to what is effectively a hobby right now, which is my video creation, and then it'll get super busy again. So I'm wondering if that was not the reason why I should just count on summer being busy as hell and just prepare for it accordingly. Every month I try to pick out one thing to improve on my channel, and last month was going to be basically marketing, so to speak, or more appropriately social media networking. Nothing annoying, just like posting links where appropriate, joining more social media networks and becoming more active on them, also becoming more interactive with other people's channels, that sort of thing. I utterly failed at executing that, although I did manage to put together a plan going forward, so I will get around to trying to execute that this month sometime, I hope. I did see several of my new viewers have either shared my videos or given tips on how to improve them, as I mentioned already. And I very, very much appreciate that. A couple of the folk who've given me feedback might be interesting to the rest of my viewers. And so I'm going to give them a little bit of a shout out here, because they are also creators in the RPG space, so to speak. Both of these gentlemen that I'm about to mention are more tabletop focused than CRPG focused. They cover their topics way more thoughtfully than I do, so if you're into a kind of in-depth analysis, or at least a more analytic approach than I currently offer, I do recommend them. First of all is Samwise 7 RPG, whose videos I remember watching some time ago. In fact, I wasn't a real regular watcher of his, but I'd watched several of them and came back to him several times over the course of the time I've been watching videos on YouTube, which is quite a while. I was actually quite surprised and pleased to see him leaving feedback on one of my tabletop-focused videos. The next is a newer channel, the Complex Game Apologist, who is really focused more on giving in-depth commentary on tabletop games. They have a more simulationist or simply more complex methodology behind them. And if you enjoy complex role-playing games, he's an interesting watch. I'll put links to both of those channels in the description below. I mean, I know a lot of people that do RPG channels do watch my channel, and I watch their channels, so it's always nice to give a shout out when I can. It was actually a very interesting month for subscriptions in general. Beyond the great purge, so to speak, that happened and cleared a bunch of dead-end links and dead-end subscriptions out, I did see a few much larger channels that I've been a somewhat lurking fan of for some time, that I'm hesitant to mention the specifics of because they aren't in the RPG space, so to speak, when they hadn't either subscribed to me and or have viewed and or commented on me. I'm not going to put them out right away because I'm not sure if it's really appropriate to link non-RPG to RPG channels. Anyway, whatever. If you're watching this, you probably know who you are, and rest assured that I am a huge fan if you want to promote yourself to my little tiny audience, go ahead and leave a link to your own channel in the description below. I always appreciate that kind of networking. So far, I've been basically gushing over the community, and you guys deserve it 100%. But let's get to the heart of why I do these updates, which is my plans for the content. Now, for those of you who are new or have only seen last month's lackluster performance in terms of content, I cover both tabletop and computer role-playing games, and I offer commentary and reviews, as well as Let's Plays and live plays. Last month, a lot of my Let's Plays content fell through, either was delayed, or I could only put up a small fraction of what I usually do. I'm aiming, as always, for a Let's Play episode most every day, except I might miss Sundays sometimes. And then tabletop role-playing stuff, I'm going to try and get 2 to 3 times a week. So you may see 2 posts a day on quite a few days during the week. I've fallen way short of that, and that's completely my fault. I did not schedule my time appropriately this month, as I usually don't during the summer. As my schedule clears up again, I'm going to try and start ramping back up to where I'm supposed to be. So let's look at what I've got planned. Although, before we get into what I have planned, I'm still curious as to whether that many videos a day is something that my viewers would like to see. I know that a lot of people only come for my tabletop content, and a lot of people come for my CRPG content, and I'm kind of torn between splitting them into 2 channels. I don't think it's that much of a problem now, because I am still a relatively small channel, but I am growing, and I want to make it as clean and clear an experience for my viewers as possible. And I understand that looking at my channel now is kind of like a hodgepodge of everything scattershotted. And if you've got any feedback on that, let me know, and I will be sure to really look into that. Anyway, back to what I've got planned and my ideal goals. In terms of Let's Plays, I've got my Planescape Torment one up and running again, and that has been really great fun. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get through that one. I'm going to continue to do that one live when I have the chance. I generally stream to YouTube on that one. I've been considering dual streaming to YouTube and Twitch on it, but I'm not sure how to set that up just yet. With Planescape, I'm going to be focusing on hour-long blocks because it's so literary. It's got so much verbiage in it that anything shorter than an hour is just not going to cut it. I'll get like maybe 1 conversation done, and then that's it. So I'm going to be aiming to stream Planescape at least twice a week, probably around twice a week if I can cut it. In terms of my Baldur's Gate 2 Let's Play, I know I'm almost done. I presume I'm going to get a couple dozen more episodes out of the Throne of Baal expansion at the most, but we'll see how that goes. I am going to get back into that more. Last week, I had actually started recording a number of episodes, but I had a recording glitch that basically took me all weekend to sort out. I mean, it was like non-stop working on my system trying to get the damn thing working again. I've got it sorted out now, though, and so, even though that time is eaten up, I'm never going to get it back. Going forward, I can get back into recording it and posting it regularly. So it shouldn't be long before the Baldur's Gate 2 stuff is done. After that, I'm at a loss as to what to pick up, because I had several suggestions over the year and a half, whatever, that I've been allocating these various Let's Plays on. I've kind of narrowed it down to 1 of 2 options after I'm done with Baldur's Gate 2. One is maybe the Wasteland series, either the original Wasteland or just like Wasteland 2 or whatever. Or, and this was recently suggested to me, Arx Fatalis. Now, I am a huge fan of the Ultima Underworld games and dungeon crawls in general, and Arx Fatalis is their spiritual successor. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I've played the first level or so of it, but I've never actually finished the game, so it may be an interesting option. Let me know what you would prefer to see, or if you've got other suggestions that I could take a look at. And then, as far as Let's Plays go, there is Oblivion. Now, my Oblivion Let's Play has been stalled for quite some time. I spent a lot of time over the last few weeks trying to get it to work again, and it's just broken beyond belief. I cannot get the original mod combination I had going working stably at all. I can't even get a stripped-down version of it working at all. I did manage to get an install of FCOM stable on it, and it worked fine, but it lacks some of the extra content and has so many additional tweaks that it's like playing an entirely different game, one which I would have to get used to from the scratch. So here's the issue. If I do an FCOM playthrough, it seems like something I would really have to start at the very beginning from. Then, if I want to continue my old save games, I'm going to have to go in there and strip all of the mods off. But not only that, but also go in and clean the save file, because the save file has a lot of extraneous trash from all the mods that I had. And it really kind of affects the overall stability of the game, even without the extra mods. So really it boils down to one of two items. Now, I presented three or four options last time, and it seemed a lot of people were cool with just going forward with all the mods stripped off. If I do that, however, I'm going to have to set aside some more time to go ahead and clean my save file and hope I do it right. So the options are really A, strip everything out, go with a non-modded playthrough from where I'm at, and spend extra time going ahead and cleaning the save file as much as I can in order to get it working stably again, which I can do, but it's going to take a while, so that means it's going to be further delays on the Oblivion one. Or I can basically start a new game, play through either FCOM or non-FCOM, and just start from the beginning, from scratch, with a new playthrough. And that I'm kind of hesitant to do because I did get a significant... I've spent so much time getting into the Oblivion, and yet I didn't really advance that far on the main storyline. So if I was to go back, I would probably concentrate more on the main storyline than the side quests, which I've been doing thus far. So really, those are the two options. Either a brand new Let's Play with a stable build, or try to strip everything out and hope we can go from there. Leave me a comment, whichever one you want me to see me do, because I know a lot of people are interested in my Oblivion Let's Play, and it sucks that it crashed that hard. As for my non-Let's Play content, I dropped the ball on the Tabletops and Taverns last month, mostly because of time. I did the low fantasy in gaming, and I've got the high fantasy in gaming pretty much ready to go. It's going to be my next entry into the series. And I want to say expect in the next couple of days, but the way my schedule's been going, I know that as soon as I say, expect in the next couple of days, that some shit's going to happen here, and I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try and get it up very, very swiftly. After the high fantasy in gaming, high fantasy in role-playing, what I'm going to do is either do a bit on cyberpunk role-playing, which is interesting just because of the time period in which we're living in, or I can do a series on the different editions of Dungeons and Dragons as have been suggested to me, and just cover the differences between each edition and how each edition involved and so forth. I haven't really decided yet. It might be better to use the D&D Editions series as its own standalone thing. I know I've got several other series that I would like to do as their own standalone thing. I've got more video ideas than I have time to record them at this point in time. I'm just not sure where to go with that. It certainly has some potential for an idea either way. As for RPG Storytime, I've still got the last third of my bookshelf tour to go ahead and post up. And then after that, I've got a tale of kind of like an epic dragon fight, which I ran a month and a half ago or whatever. It's interesting from my point of view. It would be interesting just to get the tale out there. Exchange ideas on how various dragon fights go, either on tabletop or freeform or whatever. I had some trouble getting the RPG Storytime stuff out last month, but I think I actually made my goal last month. Anyway, as far as reviews, I've still got the review of Descent Journeys in the Dark and its associated mobile app in the queue. I've got to redo some footage for that, but it should be pretty much good to go pretty soon. And I might do a review on one of the PlayStation 4 RPGs. And the reason I'm doing these kinds of reviews is not necessarily because there's a lot of demand for them, or because they are very pressing items that need to be reviewed. But in both instances, I'm going to be trying something new, and as you saw with the Descent Journeys in the Dark thing, failing something new, but as soon as I get it working 100%, then that's going to open up so many options for me, because then I can cover not only PlayStation 4 games, but also things like Android games, And that's really going to expand the stuff that I can put into things like Indie Game Friday and so on and so forth. So I'm actually really kind of excited to get those working, even though it's going to require a little bit of extra work. And I know there's ways to do it. People have recommended ways for me to do it, and I'm following their suggestions and just trying to get the workflow to work for me. In terms of the RPG News Roundup, which I think is my final item, I'm enjoying putting the RPG News Roundup together every week. I wanted to make it clear, and I should probably put this in the intro to the RPG Roundup instead of just in the bottom of the channel update thing. I am not a primary or even a secondary news source. With the RPG News Roundup, I basically scour about a dozen websites and newsletter links and so on and so forth for tidbits that I think my viewers might be interested in, and then aggregate them all into like a digest format at the end of the week. I know a lot of my viewers may not be the most up-to-date on a lot of RPG happenings. It's still very much a trial concept. The RPG News Roundup is still very much on trial. I am taking a lot of feedback on it. My real question is this. What do you think about it as viewers? Should I keep the format as is? Should I go into finding more in-depth information on these things and putting a lot more depth into the stories? Should I keep doing it at all? I mean, in other words, is it a valuable addition to this channel? Is this something that you want to continue watching? Or should I just go back to concentrating on the various commentary and reviews and Let's Plays? I'm very open to feedback on this issue. I just want to know where it's going, because I enjoy it, but if I'm not, if it's not adding anything for you, then I might be better served putting my focus elsewhere. And for that matter, what do you think about all of my series? If you've got any feedback on any particular one, let me know. I know my channel's kind of scattershot at the moment. I'm trying to get into a regular thing where you can tell what I'm going to put up on what day. I'm going to try and get back into the swing of things. Just remember, if you've liked what you've seen, leave a like. As always, leave comments if you've got feedback, and these channel updates are the best place to give general feedback for my channel and my formats as a whole, because this is basically my opportunity to go ahead and talk with you guys pretty much directly as to where you want to see the channel headed. And subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.